against foreign opposition in this tournament. They've only really performed when they've come up against South African opponents. A win against Jomo Cosmos on the opening day, and they looked impressive in defeat to Orlando Pirates yesterday. Maybe they can come out of their shell finally against European opposition today on the final day with really no pressure. They'll either end 7th or 8th, so I think they'll be able to play with some freedom today. Although I'm not the expert in that department, and that role of providing that analysis belongs to Thabo September, who joins me in the gantry this morning. Welcome, Thabo.
Good morning, Grant, and good morning to our viewers. Final day of the Future Champs tournament, and Highlands Park looking to finish well. Espanyol has been playing good football but not getting the result that they desired. So I'm looking forward to an exciting free game.
Highlands Park on the offensive now, and they have the big Tino Smith up front, but all too often in this competition they really haven't supplied him with the kind of balls that he'd probably be able to profit from, forcing him to try and get in behind the defense rather than driving down the line and putting the crosses in. And on the occasion where they have put crosses in, usually from the left-hand side that Eric Tivani operates from, they have been drilled in rather than lifted in for the big man to try and get his head on.
They haven't used him well, Smith, you remember the first game that Highlands Park played against Cosmos, and he was in that box and he was marked by 3 players, leaving one of the Highlands Park players at the back free, and that's the presence of his statue in the box. It attracts a lot of defenders.
Well, the Lions of the North have looked comfortable so far. Here's Itafia, launches that one long. Kevin Itafia's had a decent tournament, although his side have shipped 3 goals on 2 occasions. They lost 3-0 against finalists Club Brugge, and they lost 3-1 against the other finalists in the form of ADO Den Haag. So they've actually had quite a tough run of it if you look at the games. Of course, they did play Jomo Cosmos, who will end down the bottom of the rankings, but and they played a finalist, they played another finalist, and they just played Orlando Pirates, who are in the 5th, 6th playoff. So also will be finishing inside the top half. So it's been a relatively tricky fixture list for Highlands Park in their debut entry into the Future Champs Gauteng. That's nicely done. Mube now gets it back. Tivani wants to drive towards the byline. Now he lifts that in, and actually wasn't a bad ball for Tino Smith. It's still Smith, and there's a foul called against him. Espanyol just trying to get a feel for it in these opening exchanges. Espanyol down the flank. Alessandro. Now nicely into the box for Lucas. It's Alessandro again, one of the new men introduced to start this game. They did play in the opener. Now they've given Tivani a lot of space here. away. That's Lucas. There's only one man up front in the form of Xavi. And comfortably headed away. Now they've played themselves into trouble here. Have Highlands Park turned on for Nico. Xavi. This is Alessandro. Nice touches from Espanyol.
And that has been their strength, Grant, in this tournament, that they've played beautiful football and great touches. They remind me of the Iniestas of Barcelona, the way they move the ball.
This is Nico, chance to open it. And he has put the ball wide of the upright when it looked certainly easier to score.
Definitely easier to score. Nico there, seeing his name already in the score sheet before he puts the ball behind the back of the net.
It's a very poor effort. The coach did say prior to the game yesterday that they really aren't used to this artificial turf at all. Of course, come from Catalonia, they have no problem growing beautiful grass and producing very fine pitches in Barcelona. No need really for that many artificial turfs, so they aren't used to it. That's also why he's rotated his team so much. Doesn't want anyone to be particularly worn out. They do have a full fixture list coming up. They do have another very prestigious tournament that they'll take part in once they have got back to Spain. Luckily it's in their home base, just outside of it. A tournament near Girona. There's a ball spread out now to a good position. Adria. Lucas can't get there first. Will be flying home today, the Spanish outfit, and have to prepare themselves for a tournament next week, the Mediterranean International Cup, where they'll be taking on Manchester United, Manchester City, Barcelona, their bitter rivals, as well as Inter Milan of Italy, Sampdoria also of Italy, as well as Paris Saint-Germain of France. Uri is the man fouled. Uri's been in the walls. This time no foul perpetrated on him, but he does take a ball to the face. Shifted to Lucas. Loose touch, but they may benefit from it. Now, Espanyol driving forward. There's options arriving, and the fullback on the overlap is 14-year-old Oscar, who squeezes it across, and the opener comes via the foot of a Highlands Park player. An own goal in an unfortunate way to go behind.
Oscar making a great overlap there, and of course putting the ball in between the keeper and the defense, and that's what happens when you are facing your goals. Defender trying to clear the ball, but it was in front of him and an own goal.
Yeah, you're right. Oscar creates that, forces Kevin Atafia to turn it into his own net. I think the captain felt that he had to intervene. He had no choice. Such was the quality of the ball.
Such was the quality of the ball. Of course, it's Greg Atafia, the captain, who conceded their own goal. And the reason is that, of course, he couldn't leave the ball. There was another player of Espanyol behind him.
Now Cesar gets off his line hurriedly to pick that one up and avert any danger. So an unfortunate way for Highlands Park to go behind inside the opening 10 minutes of this game.
But what I've seen, Grant, as well, is how the fullbacks overlap of Espanyol with Lucas, the captain, on the right, and Oscar on the other side on the left. They time their overlaps with their wingers. They wait until they are in full control of the ball before they venture forward.
So often in this tournament we've seen overlapping runs from the fullbacks that are not used, and effectively they've sprinted 80 meters up the field only to have to retreat without being effectual in attack, and it's because they've not done what you just alluded to. They haven't timed it. They've bombed up at the wrong time. They've run themselves potentially offside before the winger is ready to play them the ball. This Espanyol side are well drilled. They might not have had the best tournament, but of course, remember they came here as an under-16 team, and they came more than anything for experience on a different continent. The mandate was not really for them to win the tournament. That would have been a bonus had they been able to. Now Tivani trying to change this game, and it's behind for a corner kick. Remember, Highlands Park are 1 goal down. Just to remind our viewers that can't see the score reflected on the screen, that it is 1-0 to Espanyol, an own goal from Kevin Atafia in the 9th minute. Some shenanigans from some of the players. Oreki Lekwala is making sure that he intervenes. Now the ball might have broken there to Raul if not for the intervention of Tabatso Siakoleng.
Tabatso had a good game against Orlando Pirates, and until he conceded that penalty, and it's good to see that his confidence is back.
It's Tapia, clears into bodies. Now most amongst the Highlands ranks had a good game against Orlando Pirates, even though they went on to lose that. And Pirates only really had the larger of the possession stakes in the final 20 minutes or so when they were chasing the game. Until that point, it was a game in which you would have to say that Highlands more than shaded it. The Highlands Park technical team are quick to point out that Orlando Pirates only had 2 shots on target and they scored with both of them. Now opportunity here and put across the box. Kevin Atapia very nearly with an unprecedented second own goal, and once again it's because the ball is so good. This time it's from Yuri,
and it's another great cross. Exactly, they put it behind him. When you are facing your own goals, Grant, it's so hard to defend balls, so they need to position themselves properly. I mean, Atapia there, it's always coming on the right back side of Highlands Park, this crosses. They need to be careful about those crosses, otherwise Greg Atapia is going to be the top goal scorer.
There is Atapia again. Well, I think he's a little lucky that he didn't quite connect with that the way he maybe wanted to, otherwise it could have flown past the goalkeeper. But I think they'll be very aware, if they weren't already, that on the side of young 14-year-old Sizwe Mtanzi and Albert Risen, that they need to do a bit better in curtailing those attacks from the left-hand side of Espanyol. They've proved very potent going forward with Oscar and Yuri. Heading towards the quarter of an hour mark here. And there's Espanyol who lead by the goal that they managed about 5 or so minutes ago. They lead by only that single goal. There have been chances for both sides, and they've looked potent down this left of Highlands Park. Estivani will always look to cut inside and very nearly gets the opener. Had that taken any kind of touch from Santino Smith, who tried the elaborate in front of goal, and Highlands Park would be level.
Tivane has been the star of the Highlands Park team the whole tournament. Smith just needs to time his runs when he gets into that box, because you know the cross is coming, so he needs to time his run when Tivane puts in a cross so that he can not be offside, because now he's going to waste an opportunity for his team.
Ball is with Raul. There's the overlap from his captain, and in the end he tried to use him. Lucas just indicating where he would have preferred the ball to be played. But I think perhaps he was not necessarily caught in two minds. I think that Raul always intended to play Lucas regardless, and he'd actually done a good job cutting inside to create that space. Perhaps if he had continued and played a ball inside rather than outside, he could have profited.
Yeah, no, definitely they were not on the same level of thinking, and sometimes the spaces run out, so hence Lucas stopping his run.
That's Alesh. Finally getting a chance to see Espanyol in this crisp blue and white kit. We've seen them in their dark blue so far this tournament. There's an offside called, and Highlands Park will be grateful, because again, Espanyol making tracks down that left-hand side. Back to the goalkeeper. This is Tatis Malutsi, 16-year-old who's part of the national under-17 setup. This is good running. Now, can they get the ball in? That's well defended. Really nicely done in the end by Marcos. Itafia now. Tivani continues to cut in. Still Tivani, and he spotted the run. Just couldn't slip the pass through. That's nicely done. And Vete to get himself involved.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Ayanda Vete. We know what he can do, and he needs to also support Tivane with his runs here on the left. He must also cause problems in the midfield as well.
Insistence on playing out from the back here from Espanyol, and eventually they do so. And to their immense credit, they are now on the attack. And then after doing all the hard work under severe pressure inside their final third, when it comes to a very crucial pass, it's misplaced. But the ball is back with Periquitos, slipped through and offside.
And the problem on the right-hand side of Highlands Park, where Sizwe Ntazi is working on the right back. The problem is that with Oscar going forward, doubling up on top of him, his problem is Albert, who is not helping him defending, because he lets the left back overlap, and he's waiting, I think, for a counter. I don't know if it's the plan from the coach, but he's not helping in defense at all.
Terrace sharply is a little upset with what he's seen so far from his team. He relish the half-time break where perhaps he can get stuck in. The 39-year-old who juggles coaching with his position as an HR manager. He's also father to 4 kids, which I'm sure helps him in his capacity as a youth coach. There's Tivani, one of the stars that has come up through the ranks at Highlands Park. Now drilled across the box. It'll be kept alive here, but only momentarily. It's back with Espanyol. Nico Itafia. Attempted pass there from Tukuzizi Klovu. Only finds the feet of an opposition player. Now it's Alish Adria. Alish has closed down and he's turned over possession, but almost inexplicably, Tivani, having been gifted the ball, loses possession of it. And that's a difficult one to explain.
He takes so much responsibility out of this team of Highlands Park, and he wants to do everything himself. You know, sometimes he needs to let the Novus also and let them help him, because he can't do it alone, and he needs to learn now to share, because he is the star of the game.
Paul Joseph watching on. This is Raul on the near side, right next to his coach, who has stayed rather silent during the game, because I think he's not been unimpressed with what he's seen. Raul get his team a corner.
Highlands Park will need to stop these crosses coming from both sides. They're going to cause problems for the centre backs, and we'll see more on goals. And it won't be the centre backs' fault, it will be the wingers, the fullbacks that are working on the sides.
Goes the low corner and swept towards goal. Xavi tried to take a second touch. Under pressure there from Malutsi. Here's the well-engineered corner.
I've seen so many of these set pieces from Espanyol. I don't know if I've done so many of their games. And the coaches that are playing these opponents the next game, are they not watching these set pieces, because they do the same set pieces every time?
Now an opportunity for Highlands, and he lets fly from range. Not a bad effort at all from Oscar. Alvaro will have a chance to come on and tend to his player. One of a 3-man technical team brought here by the Spanish. He accompanies Paul. He's watching on from the sidelines here.
Referee there playing advantage, because he saw the foul, but they had a good chance to take a shot on goal.
Nico fell rather awkwardly there. Espanyol trying to cut off the short options for Highlands Park, who also insist on playing out from the back. He's back with Malutsi now. Tanzi. Tino Smith. Nice from Ndlovu. Eventually loses out. He's won it back here. Highlands Park have just under 5 minutes of this opening stanza. Try and change the narrative in the 7th place playoff. Team that wins. And in 7th, and the losing outfit here will occupy 8th place. The standings, remember, every side in the competition gets to place, depending on where they finished in their group, determines what position they'll play off for. Shabby.
Highlands Park even really had the worst of first half. It's just with that own goal that they've conceded, which is something that they need to work on probably on halftime with the coach and try to ask the wingers to come and support the fullbacks so that they can stop those crosses, because they do have an advantage with Tivani and the speed that is got up front.
Alessandro. Played it all the way back. He's having plenty of success on that left-hand wing, as is Raoul on the right, but can't latch onto this. Tivani. Still Tivani. At times you feel like he's trying to maybe do a little bit too much. There's a Tapia. Vete. Now ball lost. Nico tries to just stab it through to his teammates. Ball in the hands of Malotsi with 2 minutes remaining. We hear that there will likely not be any additional time at the end of this half. Remember, as things stand, with Highlands Park losing, this will be a 4th loss on the trot. Considering how they started the tournament, they won't necessarily wonder where it all went wrong, because I think there's been some good stuff played by Highlands Park, but sometimes they just haven't quite got the rub of the green.
Yes, you're right, but sometimes it's just the standard itself, not that they were bad. It's just that the other teams were more technically equipped, you know, and they've done their best. They beat Cosmos in their first game, which was promising.
It's Lucas. Now the ball into the path of Raoul. So they keep it alive here. Up against Sokoleng. Nico trying to burst into space. Good clean tackle. Tivani. Malutsi with the big clearance in the direction of Ryzen. Tivani with only seconds remaining in the half. Etafia now. And that's it for the first stanza. We come to the end of 30 minutes. The only thing separating these two sides is Kevin Etafia's own goal, scored inside the first 10 minutes of the half. Both sides have had chances, but more have fallen in the way of Espanyol, who have used the wings in particular to terrific effect. Well, the two teams, of course, they don't retreat down the tunnel. They do just withdraw to the sides of the field to get some refreshments and some words from their coaches, but they'll be back on the park. Park currently trail Espanyol by a 1-0.
Thank you very much to our commentary team. As Amanda Zamiri rightfully said, Highlands Park basazofuna le bola, and that has been the case with Espanyol enjoying the bulk of the possession. Not to say Highlands Park haven't had a fair chance of opportunity in front of goal, but they've been unable to capitalize on their opportunities. As we head into the half-hour mark, it is Espanyol who lead by an own goal from Kevin Etapi against Espanyol.
Bigger than Nike Centre in Pimville, Soweto, where Espanyol lead Highlands Park by a 1-0. Although it was Kevin Etapia who netted at his, in his own net, rather. It was Espanyol who had more chances though, and you do feel as though Nico should have done a lot better with this opportunity.
Yes, definitely. That was a great opportunity early in the half, and Harry converted that one, then they would have had more chances.
And then the ball fizzed across the face of goal and turned into the net by Kevin Etapia, who felt he had no other recourse but to intervene.
2v1 on the side, that's what Espanyol has been using. And again, from that same side, and 2v1 again, almost another all goal from Kevin.
Well, the Espanyol players are usually well positioned, and I think Etapia always feels like Raul is lurking and he has to do something. Very nearly restoring parity though from Eric Tivani's great cross into the area. Unfortunately, the touch wasn't there. Well, Espanyol continue to press and from a well-engineered corner kick, they very nearly had their second as Xavi slid in to try and make a touch. It was Malotsi who managed to get his hands onto it. Keep Highlands Park only a single goal in arrears. They've each had 2 shots, and neither have hit the target. That's Espanyol ahead because of the own goal. And now we go down to Lerato Pajo with the award-winning Amanda.
Thank you very much, Ron, for the set. She is alongside me, guys, of course, Amanda Damini. As we go into the second half, it is Espanyol who lead against Highlands Park. Toki, the scoreline, not a true reflection of what has transpired in the first half.
Yeah, it's very true, Lerato. And I think the early chances that Espanyol created, I think, were a wake-up call for Highlands Park defenders to sort of recompose themselves and really organize themselves defensive-wise. They've been chasing the game, hence the own goal, because they're defending facing their own goals, of which I think at this level should be some of the things that they need to learn, that as much as they're chasing the game, but they really need to organize and face the game and face the ball, have a very good view, their angles especially when they're defending. But I think they've done really well with Eric really doing a lot of work, I think, on the left-hand side, and he's been the live wire for Highlands Park, but they need numbers. Smith is all alone up front. They need the likes of Tivani to also come back and really support where attack is concerned. I think they're more concerned about defending more than really creating the chances that they really be getting on the left wing.
Is it maybe the way that the Spanish play?
It is a Spanish way of playing. They really want to build up from the back. They're very confident on the ball as well. In the middle of the park, they will still want to suck you in, rope you in, and really play out wide in terms of the attack. But I think Highlands Park have really recomposed themselves. They've adjusted. And I think the coach will be that one person to say, we shouldn't be scared of playing, because that's the message from the side of the line, say, we should play, guys, and I think the defenders are still really worried about their goals instead of really attacking. But I think in the second half, the coach really encouraged the boys to add more numbers moving forward.
And they have had a fair number of chances, that is Highlands Park, but they're just unable to capitalize on their chances.
That is just the lack of support up front. Smith is all alone, and hence I'm saying the right wing has been really quiet. Maybe they should also try and rotate where the player is concerned. Yes, player on the left. Eric might also take the game also on the right hand to sort of balance the game, because so far it's just all on the left wing. So I think the game should be evenly balanced in the midfield.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Well, that is Amanda Toki Damini giving her analysis as far as this game is concerned. It is the second half of this encounter between Highlands Park and Espanyol, with Espanyol leading by a goal to 0.
Español.
Park find themselves in a relatively familiar position. They are behind at future champs Gauteng, this time to Espanyol at the interval, and it was the captain Kevin Etafia who conceded an own goal. That means that the Spanish outfit are on top in this one, as Moreki Lugada gets us underway for the second half. As the Lions of the North search for only their second win in 5 matches so far. We saw enough from them to have the potential to score, come back into this one. But at the same time, if you had to say which side looked more likely to get the next goal, I'm banking that you would say it's the Spanish team, Tom September.
It's been a good half for the Espanyol team, and they would want to finish well because they're going back to Spain. Like you said, Gran de Leon, and so they would want now to finish well.
There's a yellow card and a free kick just on the edge of the area here. So this could certainly pose some danger. Remember, we are also streaming live on YouTube on the Future Champions channel. So if you are watching on your World of Champions, let your friends know that they too can tune in and check all of the action. They have the added bonus of being able to interact with anyone else who's watching the game at the moment with the live comments section. So Cesar now up against Eric Tivani. Didn't get a goal yesterday against Orlando Pirates. He might back himself here. He does back himself! And that's why. Immense quality from Eric Tivani, who restores parity here.
A brilliant free kick from Tivani. And this is what you need from your star players in your team. You need them to rise to the occasion when the team is down. And look at that. The keeper had no chance. I think as well the keeper opened the left side too much. When he was setting it up, I was looking at it. I'm like, from here, I can see almost the whole post.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been able to see that near post past the wall. I think it was a poorly assembled wall. I don't think they were. Goalkeeper was poorly positioned, but let's take nothing away from Eric Tivani, because at the end of the day, he read the situation, saw that there was a gap he could exploit, a place he could put the ball where the goalkeeper couldn't reach it, and if he can hit that mark, which he did, it's going to be a goal. So credit to him, regardless of the fact that there was maybe some errors in the positioning.
Definitely taking nothing away from them. Tivani.
And there's no power on it. He just clips it, really, putting maximum curl to get it around the wall and into the goal. But yeah, really, no power. It's just nicely hit. And immediately, well, I was going to say immediately they fall behind again, but they're bailed out by the linesman. But it still is very poor defending. Yes, he may not have timed his run correctly, but the fact that Highlands Park allowed a man to get behind so easily is worrying.
And communication as well. If you look, it's only Kevin Etafia who's dropping. I don't know what was their message, but it's only him who's dropping to defend the set piece. And the whole team is just standing on the line. I don't know whether it was let's hold and trap them offside, but poorly executed. Lucky to have Espanyol player offside.
So momentarily the head in the hands of Paul. He might be a little more vocal in this second half as he watches on from the sidelines, trying to get his young 16-year-old team over the line, as well as improving on his Mediterranean complexion. Untroubled by the sun is a man from Catalonia who's born and bred in Barcelona. Highlands Park with another opportunity. Yes, Tivani fires over.
Great start to the second half from Highlands Park, and another opportunity created by Glovo in the midfield, giving Tivani the ball. And Kozon is not his strongest foot, but should have hit the target there, at least make the keeper make a save.
banking on Tivani cutting that to his stronger foot. He is adept at making little chops inside the defender. Oh, a much more open second half. Here come Espanyol. And very nearly falling to the fresh man on the field in the form of Robert. This is Yuri. Back to Alesh. Oscar. Yuri in space here. Intanzi trying to scurry back. Now a clean intervention, and Highlands Park on the offensive. Vete didn't have much to run onto. It's a lovely reverse ball, and he's onside. And that is their second goal inside 6 minutes. Highlands Park have hit the front. What a team talk that must have been at halftime.
What a great team talk for Coach Shapley, and Tivani noticing that the high line that Espanyol is playing, there's gap behind them, and he makes a late run and a perfect ball as well from Vete. Ayanda Vete cutting inside and waiting for him and dropping the ball just behind the defense. Nicely looply finish there.
It's all falling apart here for Espanyol. We go back to keeper Cesar. And in a matter of minutes, Tivani has two. It's been 4.5 minutes since he scored his first, and he has another. Remember, of course, that he managed to get a goal yesterday against Orlando Pirates, which puts him right up there with 3. He has 4 now, actually. Actually trying to work it out. It's a very low-scoring tournament. I think he has 3 now. The top scorer is Van Cleef of Adovet Den Haag, who has 4 goals. 3 of them have come from set pieces. So Aaron is on for Alessandro. The ball goes in, and Greg Itapia, or rather his son, Kevin, very nearly makes amends for his own goal. Espanyol making a bevy of changes here. And the man to be coming off is Alesh. He'll be replaced here by Luis. Now kept in expertly here by Rizin. Doing good work, and he's going to win his team the throw in. Paul has thrown on a number of reinforcements, including the very influential Pau, who wears the number 11 on his back, who's come on here for Raul.
He was definitely not happy with that high line of defending. Saw him down on the touchline here, where after the goal was scored, shouting at his centre backs. They got that one wrong.
Terrific place from Aaron, who's freshly onto the field. Good skill. Nothing comes of it from Adria, who's one of many that lives at the Espanyol training base.
Definitely a foul there by Albert, of course, trying to take advantage of the defender facing his own goals.
Espanyol have scored very few goals of their own, haven't they? In fact, Highlands Park, who've already lost 3 in this competition, have a much better tally. The one against Jomo Cosmos managed another 1 in each of their games versus Orlando Pirates and against Den Haag, and now 2 today. Espanyol trying to increase their tally and draw level.
Of course, Pau, they knows the rules of the game. You can't show your stats, and that's definitely a foul. Don't know what he's complaining about.
And a little bit of pressure here. Is Ndlovu goes back to his goalkeeper. He himself is put under pressure. Remember that Espanyol have the much fresher contingent on the park. Already made 4 changes so far inside the 10 or so minutes of the second half. Now they play on here. Lovely advantage from the referee. Still Espanyol continue. Pau has the ball taken away from him. Here's Vete. Smith turns it back out towards the wing and gets into the box. Here comes the star, and he sets up Vete, who fires it into bodies. Ndlovu. Nice ball. Pressure maintained here from Highlands Park. Needed to get the ball onto his right foot to make the cross, and the initial heavy touch had let down Sizwe Ntanzi, who hails from KZN. A good spell, and now the referee has recalled an incident from earlier on. I can tell you off camera that the 4th official is helping him out, and eventually we'll find the correct player. He's looking around for... what number is he looking for? In fact, even we're confused here. So Sekoleng is pleading his innocence, and now he'll shuffle over to eventually consult with the linesman on the far side. We'll give him an indication of who he should be booking. And he instantly rescinds the yellow card he handed out. Kevin, I could have helped him out quite some time ago by saying, yes, it was me, ref.
He won't be that honest, and Tibato Sekoleng there receiving a yellow, and he's looking so surprised, like he wants to tell the referee that it's not me, it's Kevin, it's not me, but it's his own player.
Well, listen, as comical as it may have been, at least he's booked the correct man, and we don't have an incident like we had in the top right of South Africa last week or so, when Arrows player Buthelezi committed the foul, and Mzava was incorrectly given the yellow card, which was his second, and he was sent off against Orlando Pirates.
And that changed the whole complexion of the game when Orlando Pirates went on to win the game 2-1.
Now fighting for the ball is Yuri, wins the foul. They are behind with a quarter of an hour to go, are Espanyol. Now there's options for Pau, who slips it through really nicely here to Yuri, and in turn fires it across the box. in looking for Nico.
It's very important now to see, Grant, how the Highlands Park team is going to react in terms of yesterday they scored a goal and then they conceded 2 to lose 2-1 to Orlando Pirates.
Now continuing the corner, Highlands Park, and it's put in well and headed wide. And well, Marcos, I think, claiming, not sure what, but he seemed to look up plaintively at the referee to say he was impeded in some way.
He lost his boot as he was taking the ball, but referee, of course, allowing him, because he got a good header towards the goals, but he didn't get it on target.
Both these sides debutants. Espanyol following in the footsteps of Atletico Madrid, who themselves were debutants in 2016 when they won the tournament. They won it again in 2017. And they were, in fact, the first Spanish participants back in 2016 when they appeared, were Atletico de Madrid. This is Vete for Highlands Park. Highlands Park failed to qualify as Smith rises for this against Cesar. They failed to qualify for the last edition. In fact, they didn't even make it through to the Gauteng Cup, which is the process by which you do go on to qualify. They had to play in playoffs against the national first division sides. But they were a very new academy at that point. They have, in fact, only been together for a matter of just over a year, 13, 14 months or so. So all things considered, not a bad showing from the Lions of the North juniors.
Yes, Grant, it shows progress in their development as well. I mean, now they've qualified, of course, and they might finish even 7th.
That's Raul. Ball into a good area. Xavi goes down, and the referee doesn't award the penalty, but he was right on top of the action, so you would assume that he had a good view of it. It's on the right-hand side now. Slipped across and arriving late and turning it past the upright is the substitute Pau. Now Paul looks on in disbelief there, Tabo.
Yes, because the great opportunity there, and they created it again with doubling up on the sides and cutting the ball from the byline inside, and just there, Pau just not getting the full contact that he wanted from the set of Highlands Park.
Rizin has been booked, and Sian Tami is onto the field as Periquitos take a corner. And you have to say, the shot was on target, although it was tame, and Kevin Itafia was the man to make the intervention, but I think the goalkeeper also may have had that covered.
Yes, the goalkeeper looked like he had it covered behind the defender there.
So the referee had a big decision to make not so long ago, but I must say there weren't very many appeals from the Espanyol players for that penalty shout not so long ago. If we're speaking about the development of Highlands Park, they'll get a major boost next season. Their senior team will be promoted to the top flight of South African football, which does mean that their reserve side will be able to play in the very competitive reserve league. Ndlovu took his time to try and thread that through. Lumkwana goes back to the goalkeeper. Smith spotted a man on the far side and was a good pick out, but the cross wasn't that effective. Yes, Vete. Still he goes on. And nicely into space once again. That's a better cross into a dangerous area, but no one arriving at the front post.
Tevato just need to look when he put in a cross, because that was a great opportunity behind the Espanyol players. No player of his is in front of the defenders, so he needed to cut that ball back.
Dispossessed in a dangerous area. They will recover here. That's Oscar with the clever flicked header. Yuri. Back to Luis, who's now wearing the captain's armband. Yuri. Oh, poked into open space, but he wasn't on quite the same wavelength there with Oscar. Smith rose for the flick, didn't connect. Now the ball with Dube. Tivane. Dube.
Highlands Park managing the game very well so far in terms of keeping the ball, even going back to the goalkeeper, circulating the ball, and that will frustrate the Espanyol players.
Sharply Smen ahead thanks to a quick fire brace from Eric Tivani, and their coach, who is in possession of a CAF B license, is doing the business right here as Highlands Park attempt to claim that 7th place position just outside of the top half of the table. He's onside here, they could put the game to bed, and that was gilt-edged for Santino Smith, and somehow he's missed it. And his coach can hardly believe his eyes.
Great opportunity there for Smith, and he had Luis, who is far on the left, who put him on, and he had only the keeper to beat. No pressure, nothing at all, and he just sidesfoot the ball on the side.
Ball into the legs of the referee. Espanyol eventually gained possession once again, but they were on the attack when they did lose out because of the inadvertent touch off of the official. Ball now with Yuri. Luis needs to be careful and watch his line more intently. Did play everyone on side earlier when Smith broke free. Here's Yuri. Adria. Has the ball taken off him. Ndlovu. Vete. This will be Ndlovu again. Has Smith, and Smith this time makes no mistake. Highlands Park wrap the game up. They will finish this tournament in 7th place.
That was a great play from Ndlovu, firstly by winning the ball in the midfield while they were pressing Espanyol, and combination play with Vete in the midfield, just putting the ball in front of Smith, saying, here it is, boy, redeem yourself from the miss that you just had. And Smith taking the advantage as well, putting it in the back of the net. No chance for the keeper.
Oh, that was a lovely goal. Tino Smith finally gets the goal. It's been coming, and it was a little too easy to cut Espanyol. still had a lot of work to get himself in front of Marcos, who was the defender tracking him. In the end, when the ball ended up at his feet, he had a pretty easy job. And I think having missed that earlier opportunity, he was making certain that he at least hit the target.
Yeah, right, Grant, and he had to keep his line as well, not to be offside as Globo had the ball, and he delayed his run at the right time and got in front of the defender. What a finish.
This is Adri. They've run out of options here, have Espanyol. There's less than 5 minutes to go in this 7th, 8th place playoff. Highlands Park enjoy a 2-goal advantage. They went behind in the opening stanza. Now they could go further ahead. It's Itami, who's just come onto the field, scored in the opening game against Jomo Cosmos. The young man was also very effective at the Gauteng Cup, which is of course how they qualified for this tournament. At top of their group and then lost their semi-final before also losing in the 3rd, 4th place playoff to Orlando Pirates to eventually end the Gauteng Cup in 4th position. But considering that they haven't been alive for that long, Highlands Park, and considering that they weren't even in this competition, nor were they in the Gauteng Cup last edition, you have to say well done to the Lions of the North. They have thoroughly outplayed Paul Joseph's side in this second half. So much credit must go to Terrier Sharpley, who's had a dig at his boys quite often during the game. There have been instances where they haven't played the best football, but there also have been moments, like for the 3rd goal, where they have produced some really silky stuff.
I'd like to know his half-time pep talk because once they got back on the second half, they started like a house on fire in the stopped Grant, and now they're showing off their skills now.
Chevy, Pau, opportunity, Oscar. Struck that well enough, but off target.
Oscar, they're trying to change the mood so that they can have a nice flight back to Barcelona, but you can see with the coach's reaction call, he's not happy. Highlands Park, though, deservedly are in front.
That's Tame. Pau takes a shove to the back from Sizo Ntanzi. So speaking of the fact that Highlands Park reserve side will have some very competitive football next season, it's all but confirmed that the Lions of the North will top the 2nd division in South Africa, the national 1st division as it's called. They have been absolutely dominant this season. Almost unprecedented 53 points at this stage, still with 6 games to play. They are 15 ahead of Black Leopards, and they are chasing some national 1st division records as well. Since the league condensed into one league rather than 2 pools. The highest ever tally at the end of the season belongs to Thunder Royal Zulu from last campaign. They won with 62 points. If you've done the maths, you'll know that Highlands Park are only 9 behind that tally, with still a possible 18 points to play for. And they do pick up far more than 2 points a game on average. So it shouldn't be a very difficult tally to get at all. Here's Javi, trying to pull one back, and he curls it beautifully. It's just over the crossbar as he looked to nestle that one in the top corner.
That was a great attempt there from Xavi, dropping his shoulder first and then trying to bend the ball to the far corner, but just putting it over the crossbar.
Cuts out. Chevy. Referee not happy with Vette's tackle. There's an extra 3 minutes at the end of this game. It's into a good area. And really should have been better with the cross or the cutback. Nice turn from Pau. It's the 1-2. It's a good tackle. And they've come off the Espanyol player, who looks in a fair degree of pain. I think it's only going to be a goal kick here.
Definitely came out of Pau, but the strong tackle and the landing for him was just not good. Hence now he's still on the floor.
So, Smith is for Magwaza.
Smith had reasonably a good game up front, of course, supported by Tivani and Albert.
He gets a congratulatory handshake from Coach Terrier Sharpley. Espanyol still endeavour to get another as Etafia back to Malutsi. Magwaza was freshly onto the field. He missed with a little flick and then hauled back illegally here. You have to feel that that will be a yellow card for Robert. And another free kick opportunity in a phenomenal area. Tivani was the man fouled, and you feel like he'll step up and say, this is mine too.
30 seconds to go. Tivani showing how might think of the hat-trick, Grant, because he's already on a... Anyone else take the kick?
Well, it's as clear-cut a foul as you're ever likely to see. Just drags the man back. So, in the interim, we're going to see a sub take place in the closing seconds here. As Motlasedi comes onto the field, he'll be replacing Lindane Mube. Does go for it, and it flies off the wall and behind for a corner kick, but I think he had every right to take that one in pursuit of his hat-trick.
Definitely had every right, and almost got his hat-trick.
Now Highlands Park comes searching for more. The referee's whistle finally comes to call an end to this game and an end to the tournament for both of these two sides. Highlands Park will finish in 7th. Espanyol will travel back to Spain today as owners of 8th place in their debut season in the future champs Gauteng. As the two coaches have a quick handshake, there was a smile on the face of Paul Giuseppe. He's achieved what he wanted to in bringing his boys to experience something new upon a new turf against new opposition, and they'll travel back much better for it. It's been a great experience for Highlands Park, likewise, who are also debutants in this competition. The Lions of the North will be hoping they can qualify next time around and improve on what they've managed this time.
It's been beautiful experience, of course, for Espanyol as well. They've exchanging with the coaches, exchanging ideas, exchanging philosophies, and great experience.
It's always nice to sign off on a good note. Kevin Atafia in particular, the captain of Highlands Park, will be happy that they managed to get the win in the end, having conceded an own goal in the first half. But his team came back with a vengeance in the second 30 minutes as they plundered 3, with Eric Tivani getting a 5-minute brace. It is Highlands Park who win 3-1 against Espanyol of Spain.
Thank you very much, Juan. Well, a quick update as far as the game between AZ Reggiana and Black Africa Hopsol. It is AZ Reggiana who registered a win, and they will finish in 11th position, and Black Africa Hopsol finishing in 12th position respectively. But it was the Lions of the North that wrought their way back into the game, making sure that they cement that finish, which is rather a 5th place finish here against Espanyol. Joining me, we do have the Espanyol coach, Paul Giuseppe. Coach, your team leading in the first half, but then going to concede 3 goals later on. Just unfold the game for us.
Yeah, I think that the first part is a good game. Second, that's not good. We are a little bit tired, a lot of matches. For us, it's a little bit difficult 1 year young. Then the second half, it's not good.
And Coach, where do you feel your team lost it in the second half? Was it a defensive error or lapse of concentrations?
I think that concentration is a very important thing, and then 2 actions we are not good, and I think that it's tired too, maybe.
Thank you very much, Coach, and safe travels.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, that is, of course, the coach of Espanyol, Coach Paul Giuseppe. But joining me is the man that walks away with a victory here today. Of course, they finish in the 5th position of the Gauteng Future Champions 2018. It is the Lions of the North, Coach Terriers. Sharply, Coach, a win here today, having to go a goal behind, and then the tenacity from your team to come back and win this game.
Once they scored the goal, I think we started well, and then once they scored the goal, I think they went back into their shells and they just kept possession, which allowed us to get momentum and go forward. And then once we started playing, I said to the guys, let's keep the ball, get the ball and keep playing, because they're not going to come. And once we get the goal, it will continue. And then once we got the goal, and then we just started going on forward and forward and forward. One of the things we've been impressing on the players the whole tournament is keep the ball, play with each other, play the patterns. And we needed that today. And I think finally for today, the perfect performance. When they had the ball, we kept our shape nicely most of the time. When we had possession, we had angles, we had width, we had depth, which was good. And that was the most important thing for me today, that in the tournament we showed what we have been practicing and planning all along. And together win today against Espanyol, it's a big bonus.
Coach, in the first half, going a goal behind and then having to come back from that and win, it was as if you lost your shape in the first half, but in the second half, you were more lethal in front of goal.
If you watch our game against Brugge, if you watch our game against Den Haag, every time they started rotating positions and then our boys got confused. So we had worked on that in terms of just keep your shape and stay in position, or either go man marking or you take the nearest shirt to you. So that has been happening, and that is what we told the guys. In terms of finishing, I told the guys coming into the tournament, you're not going to get clean-cut chances. You need to take the half chances, and luckily today we took our chance that we got. I mean, if you looked at our game yesterday against Paris, we probably should have gotten 4 early in the game. But luckily today we got the goals, which counted and it helped, and all glory to God for that. Eh?
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
Well, that is, of course, the coach of Highlands Park. They finished in the 7th position in this year's Gauteng Champions 2018, beating Espanyol here in the first game of what promises to be a day full of highs rather than lows. It is back to Grant Basset with the highlights.
Well, highs for the Lions of the North, who win this one 3-1 against Espanyol in the end, despite having gone down 1-0 in the opening stanza. It was to be a good day for them, but they could have been punished further in the first half. Espanyol, though, just couldn't put their chances away. This one fell to Nico, who put it wide.
Yes, they could have been punished daily, and eventually it did come. It came from the right back, from the left winger side of Espanyol, and Kevin Atafia there had no chance. If he had let that ball go, it might have passed the keeper and finished at the far end. Oh, no chance for Kevin.
He almost did it again, and he'll be very grateful that he didn't get a very clean connection on that one. It could have been an unprecedented brace of own goals. But as it was, the scoreline didn't increase in favor of Espanyol. They could have restored parity though. Erich Tivani threatened. He gave us a hint of what he was going to do in the second half with this great ball.
Definitely, and he was the star of their game, and just there, but Smith was just a little bit offside, and it were to start from there.
Well, they might consider themselves lucky not to have gone into the break more than 1 goal down. It would have been a difficult proposition to get back into it had they. And this is how they got back into it. The wall not well positioned, the goalkeeper likewise, but Tivani took advantage.
He grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and a great finish for him. And of course, he did it again with their defense being lapse of concentration there and trying to play an offside trap, which didn't work for them. And a great finish again from Tivani. Composure there, lifting over the keeper. Great finish.
It is a good finish from the only man in this squad that plays above his age group at Highlands Park. Does play for the reserve team. Does the 17-year-old. And then they had a third, and that pretty much put the game to bed with just about 5 minutes remaining. Smith, who had missed a great opportunity earlier on, this time takes full advantage as he slams it past the goalkeeper. And that is how Highlands Park get their victory. Games before. They get 3 this time around with all 3 of their shots that hit the target, and even though they had less of the possession, they still managed to win against an Espanyol side who had 6 shots without hitting the target once. Stay tuned to your World of Champions, of course, because we are not done. We have a full complement of matches, and next on the agenda is Orlando Pirates versus Nkana FC playing for 5th position.
Hello and welcome from the home of culture, Moramo Soweto. As Orlando Pirates take on Nkana FC in an all-African battle, Africa is waiting. Come since you've touched the open sky and learned to love the rustling grass and the wild fish eagles climb. You'll always hunger for home. The lions are rasping roar. Camp at last beneath the stars and to be at peace once more. Having said all of that, there's nothing peaceful about what we're about to see in the battle of African pride. Going back to the future as the two continental foes pit history and tradition against each other in the 5th place playoff. Ghana's young guns coming in this particular encounter, looking up to work up ahead of steam. Just to play around in terms of that entrance that they make. No other team, I can tell you, has such an extravagant entrance at this year's competition. Something that has added a bit of character to the competition. Another man who's got a good head on his shoulders is Augustine Akonok, as well as that blonde golden hairstyle. He seems bemused by it all. Anyway, Pirates come into this particular game confident. So Ghana, Pirates winning against Espanyol, while Highlands Park as well were defeated. Pirates in terms of the team doing duty in the 5th place playoff. One change for coach Simon Maranye. Dumelo Sebasha makes a return to the team at the left back, and another one's unchanged outfit that played some 24 hours ago against Highlands Park. Well, for coach Phililas Chunga, we'll get to how he seems to, or how he wants to unravel this Orlando Pirates side, because he has to pit his wits against that man Simon Maranye. This encounter for Phililas Chunga. Well, he's given chances to some squad members who perhaps haven't gotten as many minutes as the rest of his team. The likes of Haji Chomba get a start today. Charles Banda continues the heart of midfield. Watch out for his hard running alongside David Chilufwa. At the back is Kalunga Chisenga, Gift Chilekwa, Justin Molenga, and Chuluba Musonda, to name a few. Up front, Isaac Zulu, Mashirwa Kilimna of Ndeke. Match officials, the referee is Murakile Kwapa. His assistants, Kakeho Chosimi, Mbachi, Nyerenda, and 4th official, Oscar Toteti. We're not too far off now from the kickoff. In the 5th place, the playoff we saw in the game gone by. Highlands Park showing that the Lions indeed can roll out. They did away, swatted away the Spanish in emphatic style. Nice little ending for the Highlands of the North. Now for Nkana, quiet at the moment, ahead of the heat of a battle. For Pagachuchu, acknowledging their home support. Of course, the team does have quite a long-lasting and deep links to two southwestern townships. You can catch us here, Bonga Nkosi there in the background as well. You'll finally be adding his voice as well to the World of Champions a bit later. Speaking of Siyabonga, this man has been absolutely fantastic for Orlando Pirates in a losing cause, unfortunately, for Siyabonga. But in his opposite is striker Isaac Zulu, who is from Chamboli in Zambia. He is 16 years old, and we are ready for kickoff. Murekile Kwapa says we have liftoff, gents. It's the Zambians wearing white, attacking from right to left. The Pirates are wearing the traditional black, the touch of white from left to right. Of course, I am beside me by Sticker FedEx. Yet another jam-packed day of action awaits us. A sticker.
Good morning, Kemba. Good to be here. I thoroughly enjoyed the energetic And yeah, today we have two teams that will be looking to just end off the tournament very well. You know that Pirates played a very exciting brand of football.
The Pirates already looking to excite the fans through Tumi Sekampi. I think he just dallied a few seconds because he was waiting for numbers in the box. Perhaps it just surprised his own teammates as to how quickly they made their way into the opposition box in the first 3 or 4 way forward for the Sea Robbers. Yeah, you're right about the sort of action we expect here today. Both teams would be disappointed with how the tournament ended for them, not being part of the main business end of it, if I may. We saw the semi-finals yesterday, which saw Club Brugge and Adon Den Haag of the Netherlands, the last two remaining teams who will fight out and duke it out for the future champions Gauteng 2018 trophy. The Pirates coming into this one, Sticker, though, should be confident. They won yesterday against Highlands Park, while Nkana defeated their rivals, being Espanyol.
The Orlando Pirates certainly will be a bit more confident. Once again, they went down in the first half, went into the half-time trailing their opponents, and as we mentioned, a lot of character in this team. It takes a lot to concede when the chips are down and come to the party. And there's certainly a different start to Orlando Pirates. They seem to be on the front foot, which hasn't been the case in the group matches. A little bit over-elaborated at the back. The coach won't be too happy with that.
They would have needed the youngster who just connected with Tumi Sekampi, Augustina Mashonoka. He's been one of the stars of the team, but didn't put together his best performance when the heat was on. The opening game, he was absolutely mesmeric, scoring at wonder strike. And that saw him arguably probably push ahead of contenders for goal of the tournament. Sticker.
The blunt bombshell, which you named him. Always looks to shoot, especially when he gets close to the 18-yard area. It's always a good trait to have. And we know that the attacking midfielders are not really known to be goal scorers, but you look at the likes of Frank Lampard, the midfielder that always used to get forward and arrive late into the box. And I think the young Matlonoka could model his game around Frank Lampard. I think he needs to pack on a bit of pounds, spend some time in the gym. It's always an area where South Africans are lacking a bit, you know, just the physical strength added by the skill and speed just makes for a superb play.
Superb play indeed, and you mentioned the players of the ilk of Frank Lampard. I don't think in recent time we've had a similar type player, an out-and-out goal-scoring midfielder, get you 15+ goals a season. I think Mpokekana comes top of mind, but he has more of a penchant for the spectacular rather than amassing a number of goals over a campaign.
Very few of Frank Lampard in the mold. The name of Steven Gerrard comes to mind. We would normally describe them as box-to-box midfielders, and in South Africa I certainly think the last or current box-to-box midfielder is Renues. He's able to put together the defensive side and attacking side equally, and not a prolific goal scorer, but certainly a very good creator and a brilliant addition to South African football. And the
keeper Sticker getting himself in trouble and then getting himself out of it. Ofani Ralutsingana, we've seen his penchant for really treading a thin line. He didn't have to come out, or two defenders around him. Becky Gale left it for him. And Ofani Ralutsingana left it for him. In the end, the man in white from Nkana FC was able to get a shot away, only for Ralutsingana to manage to get back to his line as a shot comes in again in anger. It's the Zambians who have shown their aggression early on. It's Charles Banda, man from Andola. Nice little footwork as well to just get the angles and get himself in a bit of space and test out Fani Ralutsingana.
Not a bad effort on goal. Goalkeeper had to be wary. It looked like he was dipping a bit. But it's just the incident just before that. So goalkeeper has to take a bit of blame. When you come out, you need to be vocal. You need to take command. And try to be a little fancy and almost got himself into trouble.
Give it over to skipper Siyabonga Buda. He's in his second year in the future champs campaign. One of the more experienced campaigners alongside Tumisi Kampi, and the number 17. As well as Augustine Matonoka, the blown-up bomber, as we mentioned earlier. Nice little feet work. Murakilikuapa on the spot as well.
Timber, you were chatting about both teams being a bit disappointed at not being at the business end of it in the semi-finals or the finals. Orlando Pirates always have pressure on them because of the great history that the first team has. And, so that's an automatic expectation for them to do well in every competition. But that's the balance we need to find, especially in development football, you know. Sometimes it's not about winning. It's about the development of the game. And certainly Orlando Pirates coming with a young team. So in terms of winning the tournament, I think the coach won't be too worried. He'll be happy about the progression of the boys. And let's see, have they learned from the past 2 or 3 games against Ghana, which is a very, very good team.
Now, looking to trouble this Pirates defense is Louis Musaka. We haven't seen too much of Louis Musaka. Most of the games that have started, it's been Isaac Zulu and Mashila Kelimna. But he gets an opportunity to show his best as well. Sika, you mentioned a great point you mentioned about Pirates and the developmental side of the game. I'll touch a bit about that as Musaka holds it up well. They dig out across from that right-hand side, met by a player in black, and ensuing a shot well wide. You look at Vets, for instance, Dylan Shepherd. I don't think he'll be too disappointed. Yes, he'll feel a bit down at the fact that they got so close yet again, but couldn't get the job done and get to the final. But for the last couple of years or so, Vets have been there and thereabouts. The last 4 teams have always contained the name Bitless Vets. So it's about progression and learning how to play tournament of football, winning football, and all sorts of game plans and approaches up against foes from all around the globe.
I think Bitless was undone by a good planning on behalf of Arden Den Haag. They knew that the midfield of Bitless was very strong. And so they applied high pressure, not giving the ball players time on the ball, and they had to revert to playing unfamiliar football by just knocking it up long. Just totally nullified it and found themselves in the back.
The ball finds Tabani Kumete, who started each and every game for Future Champs 2018. Obviously Matonoka, the same for him. Siyabonga Buda. So the spine he's been built by Coach Simon Maranye. Some of these players who won't be around next year. And I saw Matonoka, who are 17, Buda is also 17. Well, you look at Lungile Makambi, who's been a standout player. He's acquitted himself ever so well. The Boksburner native is only 15. He'll be back again and will be stronger for the experience. Matonoka. Sakampi says, this is where I want it, and he puts it exactly there. It's a Tumala Sakampi. Wide, wide, and more wide. From Tumi Sakampi. Another one who's experienced in terms of the competition in his second year, Tumi Sakampi.
Good to see Mark Hakim getting a starting berth today. He has 2 goals in this tournament and has really come off the bench and made an impact. So today the coach is saying, I'll give you a start, boy. Let's see how you do.
See indeed how they do. David Chilofwa, who's from Ndolo. He was identified as part of an off-height center where they do trials and look for burgeoning young talents in and around the Zambian length and breadth. Nice touch there from Justin Mulanga. From Wasakili. In fact, the team is based in Wasakili. sticker. Ghana FC team, a collective of different players from different backgrounds in different areas. Mike Ndola, Masakili, Ndeke, as well as Chamboli. Speaking of Ndola, in fact, that's where Bafana I had for their future, the Four Nations Championships. In fact, they're doing duty against Zambia later today at 6 o'clock. Of course, the tournament started off with a win for South Africa after a penalty victory over Angola. Young striker Lebo Motiba got a back heel on his Bafana debut to make it 1-1 with Spura Vilagazi scoring the decisive penalty, following a Darren Keat save in the shootout. Interestingly, the teams being South Africa and Zambia will be meeting for the 25th time in their illustrious history. Interestingly, to find Bafana's last victory over Zambia, you have to go back to January 2015, when Tuso Pala, memory serves me correctly, scored a late winner in a friendly. South Africa's last win in Zambia was when Aaron Mokwena Umbazo, shot coming in from Matonoka, is currently with the national team, scored to secure a 1-0 victory. That was way back in 2006. So Mbazo got on the score sheet. Yeah, Mbazo got on the score sheet. Not too many that he had done his illustrious career.
Team be rather known for their hard tackles, flying tackles. But Tanoka once again just looking to shoot. Certainly been a very impactful player for Orlando Pirates, and has stood head and shoulders above in this tournament, as well as one of the players for the future. Indeed, one of the players to keep an eye out for, as well as the skipper Siabonga Buda, really an accomplished defensive-minded midfielder. Does have an eye for pass as well. Keeps his game simple. And I think, truth be told, this tournament has been for the midfielders and the defenders. Spotted quite a bit of electrifying talents, like of Ilya Borsia from Spartak Moscow, the midfielder who doubles up a lot of the times as an extra defender, and also as an attacker, Siabonga Buda. You look at the likes of Msani from Sundown to the left back. Really a good grouping of youngsters that have emerged from this tournament. We were mentioning progression and continuity. It'll be nice to see some of the players that have played in this tournament very soon graduate to the MDC and filter through to the first team. A lot of talent out in display this week, and we'll be looking at anticipation of a few recognizable names.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be getting their first run out in a particular competition. Or another element of it, the multi-choice disc shield starting very soon. It's in April. Perhaps we might be seeing the likes of Buda and Matonoka making the first 3 or 4 rays to going up a level. Now, going up the gears, there's a youngster, Isaac Zulu, who looked to cut to the heart of the Pirates' defense. His touch just eluded him. Good strength being shown there by Galunga Chisenga. The ball stopped by Timothy Kampi.
It's nice to see the diversity in the different phases that Ikana FC does. Yesterday, watching them in the first 5-10 minutes, they applied high pressure, and midway through the first half, they just settled back, sat back, and tried to catch the team on counter-attack. Today, they're content with sitting back and let Pirates play in front of them. And let's see if they change it up closer to the half-time.
You see that foul on Mark Sakim. The player Mark Sakim, who really has had an interesting tournament as the number 9 for Orlando Pirates. The first 2 games didn't start, came off the bench, but most importantly got goals off the bench. The Pirates currently leading top goal scorer alongside Spamandam Cezana.
Very good to come off the bench and score.
Yeah.
And strikers normally don't like to be labelled as super subs, because you want to be a starter, and certainly the young Hakim Barks has an opportunity to show the coach, I can't just score goals coming off the bench, give me a start. And if he does manage to score today, he'll certainly put his hand up high for starting 11 berth.
It's always interesting, Stika, that rather be an impact sub that scores goals all the time, as Makonaka looks to add another one to his already spectacular strike. Or would you rather start from the onset and perhaps outscore so many goals? I don't know, which one do you feel most comfortable with? I know what you're going to say though.
I think most players would want to start being a super sub there. Nothing wrong with that, but I think most players want to be a starting 11 player. And I don't know, do you remember the super sub from Orlando Pirates, the pick your brain here, Andres Cibola.
Andres Cibola, yes, I remember.
Give him my age away here.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm exposing you, youngster.
Thank you for throwing us both in the old age home. And nonetheless, European perspective, I think a man who made a name for himself as an impact sub, the babyface serial assassin, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Still coaching in the youth of Manchester United. What was it, the babyface assassin?
Yeah, babyface assassin, still looks like a baby. Saw an interview of his a few weeks ago. A few grey hairs here and there. Nonetheless, still very youthful looking, Solskjaer. And I think as well, Stika, it speaks to the mentality of a player when you can become the likes of the names that we've mentioned, where you almost have to be always on the edge and on your toes and be ready to be called upon, knowing that, you know what, I'm not going to start each and every game, but when the team needs me, I'll be the man to stand up and be counted.
And it takes a lot to be able to do that, because when you come off the bench, you're certainly not attuned to the pace of the match. So to just hit the floor running is not an easy thing. You have to warm up properly, and sometimes it's a very difficult thing to master, and certainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mr. Cibola mastered that.
Nice touch for Isaac Zulu. He drifts in his partner Haji Tramba. Tramba looks to cut it back to an onrushing Mashila Kalimna. Only ends up, in fact that was Charles Banda. Only ends up with hands on head. Nice move there from the Zambians. It was a good tackle, in fact, from the defender. It just put him off there as he thought he was going to toe poke it home to Malasibasha. Keeping shoulder to shoulder with Banda.
You talk about coming off the bench, and often you'll see guys on the sidelines every 5-10 minutes or 20 minutes into the game just going out for a warm-up. And that's a difficult part, because your body, there's no adrenaline. You also have to sit on the bench and watch what's happening in the game, so that you can see, okay, they're a bit weaker on the left-hand side. If I do start to come in and attack, come off the left-hand side or the right-hand side, and certainly not easy for a player to have that mental adjustment to come in and make that impact.
Both teams have shown quite a bit of endeavor, but haven't found that's a major moment that we'll be yearning for, just to ensure that they build momentum. And we've noticed the pattern that's developed each and every time Pirates have crossed the white line. They tend to only start playing when they're goal down to Mr. Campi on the march, looking to change that very same fact. Their first game, they were down within the first 58 seconds. They went on to win that game 3-1. Their second game, they were as well down in the second half. And their third game as well. There's something that I picked up about Orlando Pirates as under-17 team this year. They do have bounce back ability factor for sure. Have shown heart in each and every performance that they've applied themselves in. Probably Espanyol, the game against Espanyol, not the best that they had on. Now, Mark said, lovely little piece of skill. How did he keep that on the line? They did indeed. Wow. For all money, I thought that was going to nestle in the back of the net. Then that lovely piece of skill from Mark Hakim. did Pirates not score from that move? Nonetheless, they're back again for seconds. It's the 15-year-old Lungile Makambi. Oh, Siyabonga Puda with a little bit of sweet patata. Isaac Zulu does well, and a response in kind to Siyabonga Puda with his own bit of skills.
Pirates losing the outcome, the opportunity to take the lead. I think the coach will be happy with the way they started this first half. Really a great improvement compared to the first 3 or 4 games that they played in this tournament. Switched on from the beginning. That's exactly what was needed in this Pirates team.
Nonetheless, harsh lessons to be learned for this group of youngsters. Makonoka looks to sneak in. His teammates just overcooked. Early on, the Pirates did have that opportunity from a lovely work from Mark Sakim. Lovely dink pass over the top to find Mark Sakim. Look at that too. Get yourself out of a tight bind. Put it on the plate for his teammate, Makambi. On the line from Justin Mulanga. Wow.
An opportunity with young Marquis. Great bit of skill, and he had the quality not to rush it after that. He looked up, he chose on, he played on the far post, and certainly the left winger had to finish that relatively easy opportunity.
Of course, the Zambians, as I mentioned, should come into this particular game and find Feto, beat the club from Barcelona, 1-0 with the Shewila Gilimna getting the only goal for the game. Haven't scored too many in this competition. Haven't had bucket loads of goals as the year gone by. To be exact, we've had 53 goals scored. In fact, adding the 3 that Annans Park scored as well. It's 56 goals that we scored in 25 matches. Biggest margin of victory going to FC Spartak, putting Black Africa Hopsol to the sword, 5-0. Most goals in the game went to that one, as well as Mamelodi Sundowns losing 3-2-2 and Nkana FC.
Yesterday we had a very tactical 2 semi-finals. You know, it was always going to be one moment of brilliance that was going to unlock the defense and score, or one mistake by the defender, and it was exactly that. Spartak were very tactically disciplined, as we expected. The Club Rouge, the captain, Charles, jersey number 8, he certainly wanted the future with a brilliant pass through, and that seen Bruges just edge out the Moscovites.
Really good games to watch from a tactical perspective. We have a little breakdown of what the teams are doing in possession at the top right of your screen. Zinkana, who have been a bit more industrious in terms of chance creation, but both teams are dead even in terms of shots on target. Hasn't been a half of too many chances, but there have been good ones. Limited amount that we have had, particularly that attempt that fell to Lungile Makambi from point blank range. Justin Mulanga put his body on the line and ensured that the score stays as is. Isaac Zulu's drop deep as the half has commenced to dictate terms from a deep position, leaving Musaka, the number 9, to battle away with the Pirates at centre-backs, being supported well by Mashiwila Gilimna from Ndeke.
There was a bit of a dangerous tackle there, going through the man.
Now, set piece opportunity for the man from Zambia. It's Mashira Gilimna should have a taste of goals still fresh in his mouth after his goal yesterday. Standing hands on hips, one Nkana play in the wall. Is it a diversion? Oh, what a goal! Mashira Kalamna. The trend of amazing goals continues in future champions Gauteng 2018. Take a bow, Mr. Kalamna. Boom! Back back of the net. That's all she wrote.
What a strike. I think the goalkeeper is just a little bit wrong positioned. If you're going to score from a free kick, it has to be over the wall. So let's not take too much away from that strike. What a strike, and goalkeeper just called a bit caught flat-footed.
I think even young Akilamna shocked himself a bit, judging by his competition for the Inteke-born Mashila Kilimna. He scored yesterday. Barely 24 hours later, he's done it again with an absolute worldie of a free kick. My word, the youngsters have turned on the quality in this year's edition of Future Champs.
Nkana punished the Orlando Pirates, and a mistake from the defender with that tackle, you know. Many times when the defender is smaller than the striker, he'll try to get too close, and that is exactly what you should not do. You know, give yourself a few meters, and it wouldn't have been necessary for him to commit that foul.
I think the ball was at a wrong angle. This sticker, judging by how far the ball was away from the wall, looked as if it needed to be a few more steps to the left.
The goalkeeper needs to set his wall up, and he needs to take accountability for that. And once again, Orlando Pirates trail.
Well, they'll be used to this. This is how the tournament has gone. We've been here before. They'll be thinking to themselves, no need to panic. Akonaka looking to get the Pirates revival going through to Misikampi. But easily handled there by the likes of Isaac Zulu. Of course, I say that he loses the ball cheaply. That's Zulu. They need to create a few more chances for Mark Sakim. Has shown that he's a lethal striker when given the opportunity. Incidentally, with that goal that they conceded, there was the fourth goal of the tournament that they let in. They scored 5.
In these playoff games, it's just an opportunity to give some of the youngsters a run, you know. It's always encouraging to be part of a tournament, but sometimes discouraging if you never get an opportunity to get onto the park. So I'm sure most of the teams will be looking to give everybody a run out, feel of coming up against a different type of football. A lot of variation on display here in this tournament, tactically, physically.
Incidentally, ironically, Simon Maranya has pretty much kept his squad unchanged. I would say 85%. The squad has started the team and has made changes to his front line or his back line, the likes of Neo Mambo, who initially was the starting centre-back. He's fallen out a bit over the last few days. Mark Sakim is coming for Msezana up front as well. Trobeni, the midfielder, he finds himself as well a bit on the cold. He's moved it around, chess pieces. Of course, it's important in the tournament to really get the balance right of which players to introduce when. As the Kampi look to get in behind, but was spotted by a 16-year-old defender, Gift Chilekwa. Here's Chilekwa from Molenga Ashanti compound.
Some teams just taking opportunities to not only get a rotation going, but trying plays in different positions.
Versatility is the order of the day in the modern day game. Don't find too many players nowadays that just specialize in one particular position. So the tactical requirements of a modern day professional get ever bigger and wider the range and scope for what you need to do. It's a bit more intricate. Minutes of representation of 5 minutes. It's an interesting one. two Pirates players are hugging each other there. The edge of the box perhaps just looking to confuse their players. Ended up happening though as a foul against the London Pirates. No, I spoke about brotherly love, but that was an interesting one, don't know. I've never seen that one. Two players facing in opposite directions, looking to bamboozle the opposition. And the ball arrives.
We have been witness to a lot of variations when it comes to set plays. Some of the teams.
Oh, touching the box there for the big striker. It was Gilimna. He was in for his second, but decided against it and didn't want to be too greedy and looked to give it to his striking partner Charles Banda, but perhaps the better option was indeed to be greedy and get his third of the tournament. At the halftime break, it's the youngsters from Munkana who are taking the lead and are fighting strongest and looking to finish a fifth. Pirates, of course, last year finished sixth, so there's motivation for them as well, just to improve their position. And future champs, the likes of Siabonga Buda, need to go back and regroup. But in terms of the halftime break, it's Phinelis Chunga and Co. who've taken the lead via Moshelewa Gilimna goal in the 26th minute to ensure that the Zambians have the ascendancy in this game. It's a 1-0 at the halftime break.
Wila Kalima, who puts Ghana FC ahead of Orlando Pirates. This team has now become synonymous with causing an upset here at the Nike Football Center. As things stand, it is one to Ghana FC for the 5th and 6th playoffs.
I'll test the two that. One.
Nope.
I'm gonna spin.
It's coming. Our talk time is 5 minutes. Long answers here. Long answers.
No, I don't think so.
I can't. I see. Eh? And closer. Because I won't see. The sun is shining directly on it. Is it? No, it's fine. Is it better? Yeah? Don't lean. Okay. Okay, so highlight of the goal. That's the game. Oh, okay. Sorry, blonde moment. Okay, so wait, I'm starting with what? When it's coming to me?
Still here at the main ball in the biggest township in the country for fifth place playoff between Soweto's Orlando Pirates and Zambia's in Ghana FC. And it is the Southern African neighbors who started off strong off the two. It was a taste of things to come. He was shot there from Charles Banda from quite some distance out. Did ever so well, the diminutive midfielder from Andola, to create space for himself and unleash a shot, a goal bound. Well, Isaac Zulu has been at the heart of everything good for the team in white. Nearly put it on the plate again for guess who? Charles Banda. That time from the good work of Musaka. Good block from Lungila Makambi, who was back on defensive duties. Makanako, he's the main man that pulls the strings for Orlando Pirates. And look at this for a piece of skill for Mark Hakim. Bamboozled and beat his man after him being sent to the shops.
That was a great run into space by the striker. Looks like the defenders just coupled up and beat him, and a great bit of skill there. And should have done better with the finish.
I'll ask again, Sticker, how did Lungila Makambi not score that goal? Now, he did definitely score, but this time was Mashila Kalimna. We said, you can't do it. I'll provide that sheer sugar. How about that? Beautiful, sublime, mesmeric keeper Fanila Nzunga, a beaten man. That was give the Zambians a well-deserved 1-0 lead just before the halftime break. And as I mentioned, who have done it better with less possession. They've started to control midfield. That's where they've laid their base. And they've allowed the likes of Panda and Zulu to be prolific.
It is the 5th and 6th playoff here at the Nike Football Center, and it is the Zambian team, Ghana FC, who have run away with the first half right here at the Nike Football Center. Joining me now is Sia Ngosi to just have a little halftime chat about this game. Sia, a pretty evenly match game, however, they pulled one back.
Well, I don't think it's even. I think the Zambians have had an upper hand. When you look at the opportunities that they've created and the whole application, I think they've made life difficult for Pirates. Pirates are not able to play out of the back onto midfield. They're not able to advance, so they resort to trying to play balls behind the fullbacks from a distance, from quite a distance. That has been a bit of a problem for their wingers. Whereas the Ghanaians are very organized, the Zambians are very organized, and whenever they spring, they come out, So even the set pieces, they're very useful in that. So I think Pirates are going to have to try and juggle a couple of their positions, especially in the midfield, to try and put more pressure on the Zambians in their offensive play, because I feel that they're too much pinned back, and that makes it easy for the Zambians to threaten them all the time.
One of the things that Simon Maranga's boys have been struggling with since the group stages is that they always come from the back. They always start the game off from the back foot, and now they have to do some work again coming from the back foot.
Yes, and they've looked uncomfortable, and you saw even in the set piece, not well organized by the goalkeeper. He did make a mistake earlier on before the goal, and he was even unsure when the shot was taken. So a little bit of, even the defense, there were at times, there were moments where they were undecided as to who should go for the ball and who should cover. And also their positioning, we're observing with Amanda sitting outside there, their positioning is just, not proper, at the especially the back two, Beggy Taylor there. I think the coach Maranga must just try and sort that situation out, because Zambians have good attackers who always try to run at them or run behind them, so that has created some headaches for the Pirates defense.
And one answer, can they bounce back on the Pirates?
They can, but they need to fix something.
Okay. Sia says they need to fix something, but they can bounce back. Please stay with your World of Champions. It is the second stigma of the 5th and 6th playoff.
And a fifth place playoff, the brotherly rivalry, Southern African pride at stake. It's the Zambians who are sitting in the pound seat at the start of the second half. Pirates have it all to do. Ghana FC, they are white, left to right. First half, that saw the likes of Augustine Masonok and Makambi really struggled to get into the game. And this time around, it's that youngster, Mark Hakim, who looked the deadliest of any player in black. And he released a decent shot, goal bound, on his less favored left foot there.
Mark Hakim certainly putting himself in the mix for starting berth.
I think it's definitely put his name firmly in the coach's thoughts and games to follow. Oh, that's interesting. Defended there from Becky Garlett. A back healer in oncoming traffic. Not the smartest of things to do. From a sub's perspective, it's as we were. The same 22 players who started the game are still on the pitch. I'm sure we will see a number of introductions as the game goes by. One shot for the likes of Jackson Kampamba. Patrick Gondwe as well, who's on the bench for Ghana, while for Pirates, Zola Tubeni may get a start as well. We'll get some minutes now. Mambo, he's come on the last couple of games as a sub as well. Keeper Olunzingana leaves the short for his defender, gives it over to Panda. Panda lays it on a plate for Musaka, and that all came from a weak clearance from Fanny Olunzingana. Not for the first time. He's cost his defense, and the Zambians pounce. That's that sugar ding ding. Pirates sing stars. Water coming in. The ship of the sea robbers stick up.
We spoke about Win, and Kana's going to change up his strategy and apply some pressure further up the post, further up the field. And they're certainly in that situation, applying a high pressure, forcing the Pirates defense to make mistakes and punished. Not too sure about that celebration.
Yeah, they've got interesting celebrations. They do the Ghana team. Here's a confirmation of the goal scorer, Luis Musaka. Took him all over 2 minutes to get on the score sheet. The start of the second half. The same way they finished the first half with a goal. Banda attacking the Pirates defenders. The Pirates at 6s and 7s, lack of numbers at the back. They do get the complement eventually to sort it out at the back. But for a second there, only 3 defenders scattered around the box with ample space for Banda to work in. So much for the team talks. Stick up for coach Simon Maranye. I'm sure he would have said, let's not concede early, get ourselves or keep ourselves in the game. We're only 1 goal down. Next thing you know, 2 minutes at the start of the resumption of the second half, we're 2-0 down.
Tell them, God, there, enjoy yourselves, express yourselves, but do not lose the tactical discipline.
Saka, the goal scorer, left the ball behind. Banda really putting a thorn at the side of Orlando Pirates. It was Sizo Mabena, I think it was William Shongwe. The commentary once coined it as a stitch, Shaba. Snagging away at this Pirates defense, Charles Banda. Really has been impressive what we have seen of the youngster from Ndola. In fact, Ndola is synonymous with the 2 words, Zesco United. It's their home base.
Pirates will be looking to the young Matanoka and Buddha just to spur them on, start the play from the midfield with a bit more aggression, impose themselves a little bit more on the game.
Having
A little word with Simon Marange. Not quite sure what the coach of Pirates said to incur the referees there. Touch there from Buddha. Masonaka dispossessed. Look at the numbers that Nkana have at the back. Becky Kade has to be about his wits. Does well to turn out of trouble. Was being pulled though by the Nkana attacker. Illegally so, the referee says. Buddha comes deep to pick up the ball and find Masonaka. There is space on that far side for Bongani. Munabeng. Ball instead ended up at Kimisi Kampi. The tumble in the box and move dwindled away now. Musaka. Look at the pace and power from Louis Musaka. Confidence brimming in Musaka's veins. Lays it on the play for Banda. Scuffs the shot for the Zanga and a half clears it. Mayhem in the Pirates box. Where was the left back, Tumelo Sibasha? Oh, the Zambians turning on the style, and it's all Charles Banda and co. From across to the head of his teammate, just shaving the post or ricocheting off of the post. Really are struggling Pirates to keep the Zambians at bay. Wave after wave after wave of attack. In the opening 6 minutes of the second half, they really want to finish in 5th position. Do the Nkana team.
Pirates team just, the defense totally gone to sleep. And just losing shape. We see in the midfield, they have about 5 or 6 players just on the right hand side, no balance. And unfortunately just scuffed it there with his weaker foot.
And his teammate was also lurking for the tap-in. And Valentina missed it. But they came back again Charles Banda. Low cross for his teammate who did well with a diving header, but could only manage to get the upright. Looks like his
weaker foot, mate. I could have been on a hat-trick by now.
I think he's telling them, keep giving me the ball. I'm carrying them apart, lads. Keep giving me the ball. It'll be unfortunate that Louis Musaka won't be able to continue. He really has tormented the Pirates right back, Bongani Monabeng.
I'm sure the Pirates coach will be looking to make a few changes now. Certainly need to do something different. Maybe throw another man forward or bring on a more attack-minded midfielder.
About to make a sub stick up as we see those two warming up. They're not going to be coming on, but Mubanga Mulenga, looks as if he's going to replace the injured Louis Musaka. You can catch him on the side of the pitch. That's at the corner of the screen there. Unfortunate really for Louis Musaka. His first start for the team. He's done ever so well. Really strong runner with the ball. Powerful runner, Louis Musaka. Confirmation of the sub. Louis Musaka off. And enters Mubanga Mulenga. Wonder how that's going to affect the Nkana attack now, because it was dovetailing ever so lovely with Charles Banda and the goal scorer, the other goal scorers, Mushala Kilimna. And then there's an opportunity for Ubenga Mulenga. Does have a good understanding or telepathic understanding with the Charles Banda. There's Louis Musaka limping. What an unfortunate ending to the game for the youngster. I mentioned this man now, Azola Chobeni, the 16-year-old, who's come to show his quality. Pirates will need him for sure, because they struggle to get ascendancy in the midfield. The 15-year-old from Boxburg will be hoping to provide exactly that.
Chobeni can be happy with the tournament he's had. Very instrumental in the comeback for Pirates in the first and second game. He just
does his work just behind the striker. So the coach certainly looking to throw more men forward.
Chobeni replacing Tumelo Sibasha. The left back, so sacrificing the defender for an attacker. The mandate is simple from Simon Maranye. Let's go forward. Now, the Nkana team looking to compound the misery of the five skippers. Was the goal scorer Mashila Kilamna with an effort from distance. It's been a shoot on side policy for the Zambians. Perhaps an indication of their dominance in the attacking third, as Makampi does all to nip in and just relieve the pressure momentarily. Yabonga Buddha with a strong looking challenge. It's legal, the referee says they move on. Good idea from obviously Mutanaka, the execution. They couldn't match his approach though.
I think the physical presence of the Zambians just winning the battles, every tackle, just intimidating Pirates a little bit. And Pirates moving through the midfield, but just running out of ideas when they go forward.
Yeah, you mentioned the aggressive nature, the more powerful of the two teams on display at current, which is strange because there's not too much of a size difference between the two teams. Is it a matter of heart and perhaps who wants it a bit more? As I mentioned, Pirates had a 6th place finish last year. For the Zambians, they're making their debut in the tournament, so perhaps it means that much more to them.
Certainly showing more aggression is the Zambian side in Kana FC.
Now Spamanza Mseza, another striker, is about to come on and partner up, I'm sure. Mark Sakim. 2 offensive changes for Simon Maranye. He's really throwing the kitchen sink at it from a tactical perspective, looking to influence the game as best as he can from his technical area. Pirates have a good opportunity for Sikampi, the man who's soon to be hauled off. Oh, great tackle from Makonoka. They need more of that. That aggression that Stika mentioned, high up the pitch, not allowing the likes of Chilewa and Chisenga to build from the back. Also a goal there from Tumisi Kampi, ball foiled by Chuluba Musonda. Goalkeeper always found it quite interesting, Stika, that see a player's number being put up and he goes on to score. The coach says, you know what, just relax yourself a bit there, fourth official. Let him have a few more moments.
Certainly players are always throwing one eye to the fourth official to see is it my number being pulled up.
Oh, a chance now for Nkana, keeper. Funny Zengana comes out with a strong hand. He had to be brave. One of his better moments in this encounter. Pirates survive for the moment.
Looked like he was a little bit late to come off his line, but a very brave challenge from the goalkeeper, and he managed to just keep his team in the game. Do you think they're still in the game with 2-0?
They're still in the game. They've shown on the pattern that have developed over the course of the competition. You see the chance over the top for Kalimna. He was sniffing his second. Looked as if Becky Glenn has positioned himself on the line if the ball indeed did happen to go past Ralinzungwana. To answer your question again, Stika, they have shown that they have that bounce back ability factor. But today, truth be told, I think they've been behind the 8 ball and it's been on the ball, and it's the hunger to do more than the opposition. If Pirates perhaps are able to match them in terms of hunger and application, anything is possible.
And Pirates just seem to be a bit lackluster today. It's not the Orlando Pirates that we've seen in the first 2 or 3 games.
In the meantime, young Spamanza Msezana has joined the fray to add a bit of more firepower to the Pirates' cause.
Just see most of the players walking with their heads down. It looks like they've given up. But it's certainly Nkana is going to play into their favour. for their aggression and their hunger to finish in the 5th position. And another missed opportunity. Pirates, let's see how the Sea Robbers at the back there. At the latest, in a slew of chances, that fell to Mobenga Mulenga. Couldn't get the requisite power to beat Fanera Nzingana. That's the question. Simon Marangi started with Blake Franzen in between the sticks in the tournament. He's ditched him and he's opted for Fanera Nzingana. The youngster has had nervy moments. It's clear to see that his defense aren't as comfortable with him in between the sticks as opposed to Blake Franzen, because Nzingana does have a propensity to contribute to a mistake. The goalkeeper's confidence in coming out really rubs off on the defense. Yeah. And as you mentioned, maybe the defense not too comfortable with the change in goal, and we've seen it early on with the miscommunication. Another latest in Ghana sub is Jackson Kampampa. Just to add a bit more freshness to what they've already done ever so well. Here's his first touch, Justin Kampamba. Look at that, you see the confidence flowing already. His first thought, get the ball, ping it to a man and move into space. When you compare that to Pirates, it's still a bit laboured in the build-up. Oh, nice touch there from Mapegikale. It's going to be very interesting to see the final. The Dutch rivals, their neighbours, the Belgian outfit, Club Brugge, very similar philosophies. The basics of the tactics for them is your first option to look forward. If the forward pass is not on, go wide, retain possession. We don't give the ball away, so it's going to be a real tactical battle this afternoon in the final. Opposed to what we're witnessing here is kind of a one-sided affair. Yeah, true. Wouldn't have said so at the start of the game. You would have thought Pirates have made a fist of it, depending or judging on the way the competition has gone for them. Mentioned they've told long and hard, and to most often than not in a lot of the ties have to come from behind and chase the game. Well, I can't wait for the Club Brugge. And other than half game, the Dutch versus the French Belgians. Both teams are defensively well organized. Both teams in fine fettle. In the meantime, it's been reliably told that in the game between the Mamelodi Sundowns and Jomo Cosmos, it is Kabuyelu that are leading. Well, there's a chance indeed that has fallen to KCS Mailula, away from the TV screens, just to the back of us in the commentary box. It's a feast of football here at the 90 Centre. Wherever you look, it's just football galore. The two teams, the two respective games are going on. I can see the Spartak Moscow team about to get ready for their game against the Bitbus Bits. A moment ago we just seen some nifty footwork by Buddha, Chabonga Buddha, the captain of Orlando Pirates. And as long as that nifty footwork can add to the attack, and that has so often been the topic of debate for South African football, all the pros and spills, but can we get a bit of progression? Bit of a Tamaya there, but a wayward cross and possession given away. You speak about exactly that. I think about the younger days of Stika, the younger days of Temba Boy, and I used to remember one Black Jesus, Skarango Verse. You either loved him or you hated him, depending which side of the fence you were sitting on. He infuriated you or he excited you. Certainly
not the latter in terms of Mushinetugal and Karangobese. That is exactly a coach that encourages the expression of skill as long as it is progressing forward. And Skara was known to dilly-dally a little bit, but I'm sure that just a little. South African teams, when he does use his skill moving forward, he was a revelation and a sensation to South African football. Really brought the crowds to the stadium and filled it up and gave people their money's worth.
Yeah, I think top of my head, probably a player that most resembles, for me anyway, Skarangobesa, Makmanyambela. Reminds me a bit of Skarangobesa, has all the tricks and flicks. Sometimes overdoes it a bit, but nonetheless is an exciting player to watch. Gets the fans on the seats and is a fan favorite.
Exciting indeed, but to see Mayambela as the years tick on, he's just becoming a very more effective player. A lot of experience. He uses his skill and trickery further up the field. And it's just great to see that a player can improve like that and just be an asset. And he's really coming to a Chippa side, and you see he's bringing the players together. A very good influence off the field. He started his comeback at Ajax and was very, very effective, and that is exactly what we'd like to see from the players, especially the skillful players.
Great, food for thought. More on your plate, Sticker, is how did you acclimatize to when the pace started evading you a bit, when perhaps you weren't as athletic as your younger years?
I think I came back a better player. I understood that there's certain areas in the field where you need to use your skill. But as the legs grow weary, I was fortunate to adapt to a defensive midfield position. And the way the football is going, your number 6 used to be the strong guy that would just clean up everything. But now most of the play starts through them, and I was able to fit into a very youthful, talented mid side with the likes of Sibiso Mieni, Sibusisa Vilakazi, Patrick Pingwayo, to name the least, and really enjoyed the last 2 years in a different position.
Obviously they provided the legs for you, you provided the brains. It is fascinating when you see it. The players, some would say regression physically, but evolution from a football IQ and understanding. I looked at Lionel Messi, for instance, in the first leg of the Champions League against Chelsea at the Bridge, and I saw a different player from the player from years gone by. Not as explosive as before, doesn't run as much, picks his moments. He's more of a Chequista. He's the one who pulls the strings for them and then gets on the end of it and finishes it off.
Spot on. I think the word you used to describe it is an evolution, you know. Not many players are able to vary, and we look at some of the experienced players plying their trade in the PSL right now. I think that Dave Clayton is able to play a bit more inside. As a winger, you don't have the legs to go past, but the brains come into play. You choose your runs. When you do make the run, it needs to, you know that it's at the right time in order to reserve your energy. So you start to think more, you don't just run around the pitch, and when you're able to do that at a younger age, that's the difference between the good and the great players.
Yes, indeed, as you see that call from Malungile Makambi, which brings me to my next question then. Longevity in the game. You look at the likes of the man at Amazulu, Upele Nomvete. He's been playing since I was in diapers. Look at Yeye of Supersport United. His game hasn't changed too much from his heydays. At his peak, some would say it's a Chizo. He hasn't moved far too away from that. And longevity in the game, how does a professional player attain that?
It's a big ask. They use the term loosely to say you're a 24-hour professional. It's not the way you play, it's the way you train, it's how you live your life off the field as well. It's also a bit of consistency. You know, you see players come into the PSL, they light up the stage, and the very next season we tend not to see them. So it's about consistency in your habits on and off the field.
Football 101, a little more trade secrets from the most decorated players in football, South African football history. Stanton Sticker Fredericks. 6 minutes remaining for this encounter. Pirates, I think the ship is sailing further and further away for the Sea Robbers. The opponents far out in the distance in terms of how they've performed and they've kept at it, have Ghana FC. Tackle coming in at the center there. Referee with a decent advantage.
Ghana not taking their foot off the accelerator, totally dominating proceedings. From the second half, it's just been in Ghana FC.
Prince Lekete, can he provide a royal flush moment for Orlando Pirates? Highly unlikely, given what we've seen in the last 55 minutes.
So if your surname's Prince, does it mean you're royalty? Or maybe the bloodline is a bit of royalty there?
It'd be ironic if his sister's name is Princess. And that's what you call being the king of your castle.
Certainly man of the match, our commentator with a play of words, number of references.
Now, ball falls through the new man, Prince Lekete, who's touched just evades him, and Pirates got a throw in for their troubles. Obviously, Mashonaka will be disappointed with his showing here today. Has tailed off as the tournament has went on, as we earlier mentioned, after that explosive start, announcing himself with a wonder strike, arguably the goal of the tournament for me anyway. I think Sika, you might disagree. I don't know if you agree.
I'll agree with you, Chemba. I do think that quite a few contenders, but here he is in a similar position.
Or again, he thought about it and he had a go. Just slightly to the right though.
They say you got to see it before you do it. And he's certainly in the same position. He's seen his previous goal and hoping it to dip, but not far off.
Not a bad strike at all. Had that swerve going from out to in. From out to, from in to out, should I say. There's a confirmation. Does love a pot shot, does Augustine Mashonaka, almost a shoot on side policy. Now look at the aggression and how quickly the Zambians win the ball. They get it to the feet of Galimna. Galimna looks up for the runner of his teammate Charles Banda. Really do create good angles for themselves when they get the ball and a man is in a possession. They create different points of entry.
As soon as the striker receives the ball from Ghana FC, you have 2 or 3 runners just looking behind the defense, and that causes all the confusion for the Pirates defense.
Strong play from that man, Jackson Kampamba. He looked to get Kampamba back in, but nicely read by Becky Kerle. In fact, there's Kahiso Sikodi. Outside of the foot pass to find Banda. Banda gives it to Zulu. They give it back to Banda, and they finish it off with a 1-2 here, with a 1-2 there. Wow! Pirates been taken to the cleaners.
What a great goal. It started with this possession of Becky Kele, and immediately after retaining possession, they look forward, 2 great 1-2s and a well-taken goal. That could have been a hat-trick for the young striker.
Man, oh man, they really do play for each other, these Ghana FC players. Always look to get the return pass, and oh, what a somersault finish. Having fun in the sun in Ghana, finishing off the tournament or the participation in the 2018 edition in style.
Said it earlier, in Ghana FC, very unfortunate not to find themselves in the semi-finals of this tournament, but the coach certainly saying, guys, let's go out there, finish it off well. They've had a very business-like finish to this tournament, and overcoming Orlando Pirates by 3-0 is no easy feat.
No easy feat indeed. Speaking about one of the top teams from qualification to the tournament, Orlando Pirates, a team that put this year's Finals Cup Bruges
went on and acquitted themselves manfully in that game. A tight all affair. Touch of Mazulu. They think about it. Momentarily does that. Viamba. Look at the confidence in this Ghana team. They maintain position at the edge of the box. They keep them busy. In 95, the Pirates have to get through a lot of work. They have had to go through a lot of work in the hour of play that we've had. 2 minutes of referee's optional time, well into the first of those two.
And it's good to see how professional Nkana FC are. They're 3-0 up. They're not looking to dilly-dally and play for the crowd. They're looking to add to that number and look for the fourth goal. And this is exactly what we speak about, that creeps into the South African game. Once you start leading 2-0 or 3-0, we try and bring out the tricks and flicks.
And then the other of the games Choma Cosmos losing 1-0 to Mamelodi Sundowns. So nice little end to the tournament for Cabo Yellow. Just exactly a minute remaining in this fifth place of playoff, and the identity of the fifth best team in the competition has been known to us for quite some time. Still fighting for the ball high up. They really want to put Pirates to the sword. Nkana FC win the ball quickly through Upenga Mulenga. Immediately looks for runners ahead of him. Now they're back at it again. We've seen the script. Is it going to have the same conclusion? Fortunately, the pass was a bit short to Upenga Mulenga from Isaac Zulu.
Orlando Pirates started off brightly in the first 5-10 minutes, but since then they played second fiddle to a very hungry Nkana FC.
You would have thought the Nkana team haven't had their breakfast sticker the way they've approached this game. The hunger they've shown has absolutely been outstanding. Last of the subs for coach Fidelis Chunga being Milambo Mwinga, is a teammate and scorer Mashim Lakilimna. Just to get a few seconds, hopefully he gets to touch the ball. He'll probably hope. He doesn't get to touch the ball. Nonetheless, Nkana FC put Orlando Pirates to the sword. As Sticker mentioned, they were all about their business, and Pirates had to follow suit. In the first place of playoff, it's the Zambians who take African bragging rights. Is this a sign of what should happen in the South Africa-Zambia game a bit later at 6 o'clock? We shall see. Nonetheless, it's Nkana FC who finish off as the fifth best placed team in the competition. Fidelis Chunga, a happy man, why not? This team were impressive, they were hungry, they were aggressive. They kept the foot on the pedal. For Simon Marange, much to ponder. A campaign that showed so much promise, only just to fizzle away. But some players can hold their heads up high, the likes of Kebonga Pude, the skipper. Msezana, at least he got his name in amongst the goals, but it wasn't to be enough. As it's Nkana FC who finish off in prayer. And so their prayers are answered in their debut in the competition behind Fani Ralanzungana. In the end, it's 3-0 to Nkana FC at full time.
It is the boys from Zambia who walked away with the victory here at the Nike Football Center during the 5th and the 6th place position. Of course, Orlando Pirates are staying in 6th position here. But joining me now is the coach of Orlando Pirates, Mr. Simon Marange. Coach, unfortunately, you lost, and I know you wanted better results this time around.
Yeah, definitely. It's always tough to lose. It's never a nice thing. We tried, but it didn't happen today.
Coach, how did your team adjust to the AstroTurf? Because many of the teams have been plagued with injuries.
I mean, it's obviously difficult to play on this turf because we don't play on this every day. So we try to adjust as best as we can, but you know, we just got to do the best with what you have.
And lastly, what are the key lessons you take just from this experience? I mean, the boys, some of them have never played in this tournament, but what experience do you take from the 2018 edition?
It's been an honor to participate in something as big as this, and we've learned a lot. It's been a great process for us, the coaches, the players as well, to learn all different cultures and styles of play. It's been really enjoyable.
Thank you so much. It's been different styles of plays, but they certainly do take away some of the key lessons that they learned from this tournament. Joining me now is the winning coach of Ghana FC, Coach Fidelis Chunga, the coach who had 7 injuries but still managed to walk away with the victory. Coach, your thoughts on the game? Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it has been a good experience for the young boys. They have done well despite the injuries. I'm happy for them.
Coach, how is Louis Masaka doing? Because we saw that you substituted him.
No, it's a tactical change.
Coach, it's your first time in this tournament. How has your experience been? What key lessons do you take away from this tournament?
No, it's a great experience for the young boys, and